I'm presenting our interim 1-year results from the Robust 3 clinical trial looking at the Optilume Urethral Drug Coated Balloon for urethral strictures. These are my disclosures. Subjects were randomized 2-to-1 to Optilume versus standard of care, stratified by the number of prior dilations, less than 5 or greater than or equal to 5, and the presence or absence of prior pelvic radiation to ensure balance in these subgroups. Study was single-blind, with subjects blinded through the 6-month endpoint. Subjects randomized to receive standard of care were able to cross over to receive the Optilume drug-coated balloon if stricture recurrence was confirmed via recurrent symptoms and urethral lumen was less than 12 French by urethrogram. Subjects receiving alternative therapy for their stricture were discontinued from standard follow-up and only followed for general health through 5 years. Each follow-up includes symptom scores, uroflow, physical exam, assessment of erectile function with the IIEF, and assessment of adverse events since the last visit. Follow-up is complete through 6 months and is ongoing through 1 year, with approximately 2/3 of subjects evaluable through 12 months. The primary endpoint was measured at 6 months via flexible cystoscopy, and follow-up is planned through 5 years for those treated with the Optilume drug-coated balloon. This slide shows procedural and stricture characteristics. Pre-dilation was performed to confirm that the stricture would yield to balloon dilation prior to drug-coated balloon treatment. The intent was to avoid direct treatment with the drug-coated balloon that didn't adequately dilate the stricture, which would require post-treatment DVIU and a second drug-coated balloon for adequate drug delivery. Subjects who were randomized to control or standard of care arm were treated with site standard of care endoscopic management per investigator discretion. A note on number of prior dilations: one subject in the control arm had 59 prior dilations, which skewed the mean value. As you can see, the median values between groups are identical. Anatomical success was defined as the ability to pass a 16 French flexible scope through the treatment area with no repeat intervention. At 6 months, there was a 74.6% success rate, which was superior to standard of care endoscopic management. This same success is noted in this freedom from repeat intervention Kaplan-Meier curve. We also report time to treatment failure through 6 months, showing higher success rate in the DCB group compared with standard of care. IPSS improvement was noted over 1 year, and here is reported as observed, which only includes those subjects completed the IPSS questionnaire at the stated visit, as well as failure carried forward, which is the value carried forward of the last IPSS score prior to alternative treatment for those subjects with a verified recurrence of their stricture. This is probably a more realistic report, as a large number of subjects in the control group received alternative therapy prior to the 12-month visit. We similarly reported as observed and failure carried forward data for Qmax, showing sustained improvement in the drug-coated balloon group versus control at the 1-year time point. No subjects experienced a primary safety endpoint event. Primary safety endpoint was defined as freedom from a composite of the following 3 events at 3 months: formation of urethral fistula, de novo stress urinary incontinence not resolved by that time point, or urethral rupture or burst. Overall, adverse events were similar between arms, with the exception of a trend towards more mild post-procedural dysuria and hematuria in the Optilume arm, which resolved by 1 month. The Optilume urethral drug-coated balloon exhibited a significant improvement in objective and subjective outcomes through 1 year post-treatment, comparing favorably to standard of care endoscopic management. Follow-up is planned through 5 years.